Good evening. This is Dr. Bill White again, and I'm glad to be able to be with you. And I want to cover some stuff that we've done some things before, but I don't think left enough information for people to really want to do this. Now, this is a kind of a reworking part of this video we call Closing Space on Adults. And here I want to show a few of the things how we did this in this particular case. This is the lady's models, and they're a mess. I mean, here this lady is, she's nearly 50 years old, and she's got this terrible deep bite. I mean, it's down like there, and her lower front teeth are way up in here somewhere. And I'm not positive, but I remember that she had some kind of jaw joint problem because her bottom jaw could not move forward where it should be. The lower anteriors are right up against the back of these upper front teeth right here. So just looking at this model, you've got to intrude these teeth, and the lower anterior teeth, we're going to have to intrude them also. I get kind of clogged up here on this is Christmas Day, by the way, and it's just closed out, and I'm happy when Christmas is over. But it's been a nice, wonderful day, and I played with one of my great-grandchildren till I was worn out more than he was. So anyway, we're back in here trying to do this. So we got to level this out. That's obvious. And when you level something out, you're going to be picking these teeth up, and you're out in front of the teeth. And so this makes the teeth move to the front, and as they do, it opens up more space in here, and we can move this lower jaw forward then into a better class 1 relation. That's just something that you need to understand. As we level the bites, that both arches expand. Let's take a little closer look here, and we'll look at the other side of it. But these lower anterior teeth were up and underneath. The jaw is touching together and it's hitting. And in adults, you've got worn down spaces in here. See these? They've been ground in. This lady, I think, is she's not 50 years old at this point, but she gets there pretty quick. And so when I started working on it, we're going to move this tooth up in here, and we're going to raise these up. These front teeth will be pointed down this way, and we're going to torque them and pick them up, and that'll increase the room, and then we can move the lower jaw forward, and it'll fit in there better as we get through with it. Now, let's erase that and go on to the next slide over here. And this tooth has had nothing under it for a while, so it's dropped down. It really should be something like that if these teeth are together. And this tooth has leaned forward, and the roots of it are more or less back in this area here, and this one is really leaned forward, and we're going to have to bring it back and bring this back and level these teeth. We're going to bring these down. But now look real close right here. I hope everybody can see this. The lower anterior teeth are right jam up against that upper tooth. I'm going to erase that so you can see it better. Look up in here. Now that locks the lower jaw where it can't come further forward. So she has to bite back like that. Now, if you're having a jaw joint problem, then the condyle back in here somewhere, and the fossa back in this area, it's pushing the condyle back into the retrodiscal tissue, which is up in this area, and can create a problem with you. And I'm not sure, she had some problem, but not a bad one. But it's because this is back here. Now we are going to intrude this tooth right here, which is lying in this, kind of like this. And the roots are going back up in here. And that lower anterior is banging right up against that. Now as we push this in, we're going to bring that tooth. It'll swing out in this direction as it goes up. And as we bring these down, intrude them, they're going to go the same way because they're tilted to start with, and we're going to be putting force on them going down that way. So we'll use our intruding arch wires coming off of here. That'll be come down like this. We can jump and catch them. I don't think we even showed them in there, and we'll bring that down with the intruding arch wire and pick this up with it. And that's the most efficient way to level the arch. Now we had started out thinking that we were going to do just some regular orthodontic work. This was what we had thought of doing. We were going to put a bridge here. This is probably what we told the lady and her husband or whoever it was with it, and maybe we would bridge this or might put something in, and then we would take this tooth out right here. Thank goodness we didn't take it out. We didn't take this one out. We didn't take that one out. And I started working on this case, and the teeth just moved so good, and she was cooperative, and everything went fine. So instead of doing what I had kind of set out to do in here, we just kept moving the teeth together and kept moving them, and we ended up with one of the most fantastic cases we've ever done. Now this is after several months of working with them. We have straightened this out. So we raise these teeth up, we push these teeth down, and now we've got them lined up, and we've in a class 1 relationship. And this just went off so smooth and easy till we just finished the case like that without taking any more teeth out. We closed and used the wisdom teeth to fill the gaps in there. And to me, this is something that orthodontic schools don't seem to be doing this. I can't find any orthodontic school that will do this type of work for you. I haven't looked at all of them naturally, but I want to encourage them to do this, because we took about 2.5 years or something treating this case, and that's not all that bad. And the things that, the amount of money that we saved this lady, I don't think she ever realized that if she'd have done implants in all those places and had teeth extracted or impacted wisdom teeth, the cost of the case would have been much, much more than we charged her just for orthodontics. But if you want to do this type of work, you need to make a profit at it. And I know people that say, well, I don't want to do this adult orthodontics. They can't make any money at it. We're kind of stupid in a sense. We say, how much do you do orthodontics for? and somebody will say, oh, I'll do it for $5,000 a case, you know. Well, that's dumb. Or $6,000, or whatever it is. You don't sit down and say, well, I'm going to do this job and this one, and we'll pull this on, and figure out what it's going to cost. And maybe you could charge $15,000 or $20,000 to do an adult orthodontic case. I want to tell you, there's a world of adults out there that have the $20,000 and they want to have their teeth straightened, and they don't want to have some junk put in their mouth either. They want it done properly, and you can do it properly. And the schools ought to pick up and do this. I don't know why they just kind of stuck on doing. They send the child in when they're 12 or 14, and we'll pull out some teeth and do some orthodontics or whatever it is. That's not the way to do it, you see. If a problem comes up early on a child, it should be corrected early. Mouth breathing, or anything like that. Well, let's just, I don't want to get on a sermon like that, but anyway, that's what should be done. Now here, we've just jumped way ahead, and I got this case almost finished. And if you remember what it looked like when we started, and this is the case. I'm not pulling your leg. We do need one implant back here. Right there, we didn't have anything to, I believe that's the spot there might be a wisdom tooth under one of those. All right. Now she had a crown on this tooth, and that thing kind of shelled off during the time we were doing it, and she had it redone, and several of these redone, and the lady has a beautiful set of teeth now, and she'll be set up, and I'm sure she'll have these teeth the rest of her life. They'll stay that way. Now, let's go on to another deal. Now, this is the way we had to squeeze these together right in here to hold them, so we were in that lacing like that, and then twisted it down to close the space right in there, and then we just went ahead and we've got enough overbite and overjet, which you have to have if you do it right. When you go to bite a sandwich off, you slide your jaw forward and you bite with these front teeth right here. And you can't hardly wear the teeth out. I'll be 94 here in April, and I don't have enough warmth for these teeth. You could live 300 or 400 years before you'd wear them out. But I went and visited some skulls of Indians that were Apache or Indians out in West Texas, in the town I grew up in. They had a battle at one time, and there's several of these young men were killed, and their skeletons was left there, and they would let people look at them at that point. And friend, there wasn't a single skull in that stack of teeth of skulls that had a cusp on the teeth at all. And many of these were, they died when they were 18, 19, 20 years old and had not done anything except eat rough food. And they ground the teeth down absolutely flat. And their front teeth, from gnawing and chewing on things, they didn't have teeth that locked over like that. I'll bet you couldn't find one Class 2 Division 2 type case in the whole tribe, see? So they didn't have that. But we eat soft stuff, and we don't even gnaw the bones a lot of times. People don't. So our Class 2s grow like that. And so we've correcting that though. We're coming in here and we're opening the bite, restoring it like it should be. And I'm glad that I didn't wear mine out before I got, and these teeth are long, and I have chewed everything you think about during my lifetime. I wasn't careful about them. Now, okay, well, let me erase this and let's get back to the subject here, what we can do with the wire. Now here we come in, and I wanted to shorten this. I wanted to shorten this cuspid just a little bit, bring it up. So I kind of went in here and came out and up with the wire and come down. And now I put it in there, and it'll make this tooth come up just a little bit so that you don't have it sticking down a lot lower than the other teeth in there. Now I'm coming by the bicuspid, and here's a molar, and it's much thicker than the bicuspid. So I brought the wire out and come through this gap right here to do that. Same thing down here. You see the wire coming along here. Now this omega, we moved it out and went back through the other teeth. Now here this bicuspid, I think it may be a cuspid, and this is a bicuspid. I think that she had lost that other tooth in here. So let's move on to another one. And here the teeth are lined up real good. Now we want to keep these incisal edges. Now when you come in here, look how much thicker this molar is than the bicuspid. And you want these buccal cusps occluding in the same, pretty much same spot. So here we brought the wire out some and brought it through there, which accommodates that. And then this bracket is a little higher, longer, and sticks out. And the teeth are lined up all the way around like that. And it comes out, and then here we go back, so we're missing the tooth back here at the back. Now, if you really want to watch this, I've got about 100 and some odd pictures on this really deal that she's got, and you can go look on it and see a little bit more about the case. But we use several different ideas in correcting the teeth and lining them up here. Let's get back now. I'm going to erase that. And here is the lower arch. And there's what it looked like on the outside. And you can see where we varied the rectangular wire and brought it out or up, whatever, to do little things that we wanted to do to those teeth. And we put this lacing on, which you can squeeze these together like mad with that. And have it. Now that's one beautiful thing about brackets. I can put that tooth where the tooth is going to be. If I had two layers of stainless steel and 2 layers of cement between each one of these teeth, and that's what we used to have when we put bands on the teeth. You could not get the torque exactly where you wanted it because you had spaces all in there, and you close those spaces up and the teeth went in like that. And I remember used to take everything off and give them a rubber band from 6-year molar to 6-year molar and had them chew gum and hope that the teeth would look good when they got the spaces closed. And that's where they started making molds to pull them together like that. And I think that's where the Invisalign and stuff got started in there, where you could move these teeth like that. Now, we don't have to cover all that tonight, but I want to bring that in there. Let's look again here. All right. Now here it is. This is when we started the case. She was 48 and 3 months old at that time. And I think we finished her when she was about 51 or something like that. So it didn't take much longer to do this case where we saved all these teeth and all this material. And she had to do nothing but in one area, I think it was this one right here is where we needed an implant. We brought this tooth over, this tooth down, straightened this one up in here, and she needed an implant here. Over here, I think you didn't see it, close to, with these wisdom teeth will come on together and finish the job and close it. And we're going to bring this tooth up here. We'll upright this. We'll bring these down from the upper and the lower ones will go down, the upper ones go up. We'll level this out. Now you can see the lower teeth come to this point. The upper teeth come down to here, your lower teeth go up to there, and you watch that on the next. As soon as we level that out, you'll see a complete difference in that. Now, let's see. All right, this is the number 2, I think this is number 1, and it's 2000, right there, 11, 15, 2000, and then here is 7/11, 2001. So several months have passed in here, and we have opened this bite, and you see the lower teeth come up to here, and the upper teeth are down here, and so we'll continue to do that as we go through the cases. Let's see. Now it's getting closer to where we want it. This is age 49 and a half, and she was 48, I believe, somewhere in there. That's number 3. Now number 4. At this point, this is 10/1/22 of 02 now, and that's number 4, and we've got it lined up pretty good. And you remember where this tooth was in relation. We've moved this one halfway over to this point here. Now there's a little trick to leveling teeth like this. You may be coming along the line here, and you come up in here, and you want to level these teeth. You can do a little job like, let me kind of show that. If you've got say a bicuspid coming in here and another bicuspid, like that, and now you come over here and you've got a molar that's setting something like this. And if these wires come in contact, like you're coming across here, if they come in contact here at some point, you stop on this side of it and on this side, and the wire will go like this, and you come down, and you make a circle like that. You can put 2 deals in if you want to, And now you can activate it even down this way. So when you put this part in that molar, it's going to be headed that way. In other words, so we put this little deal right in here, and this would be going down there. You raise it up and engage it in here, and now this part would be going, but you, in other words, you're activating this as you bring this leg here up. This spring tightens up, and then it's going to work for you. And it doesn't matter, you can have two molars sitting over here, and if they're in a line, it will bring these molar teeth down and flatten them out with the rest of this. Now you may not believe that, but it will do that if you put the activation like that. Now, if you want to open the space here, you don't, in other words, you go around like this and your arch wire, and you may have the same thing on the other side, but you tie the arch wire down, and it's not going to come back. Now, if I want to close these spaces together, I can just straighten this out and tie this wire back here, right there, and straighten that up, and it'll pull these teeth back, and the molar will be headed down somewhere like that. In other words, the crown of this would be like that when you get through with it. And now this, you may think that doesn't work, but it sure does work. You can level that out. Now, if you do not want these front teeth to go back at all, and you're going to do this, you can put in your cortical bone, coming along here, you put a little screw, tad, in the cortical bone. Don't get up next to it, just get out here away from it a little bit, and then bond this screw to this bicuspid. Now these teeth will move forward, but this won't move backward. If you don't do that, you can pull these together at the same rate, however you want to do it. And this will flatten those teeth out like that, and then you can pull them on up the rest of the way. Now, if you're pulling on a molar tooth, and you're taking it in this direction right here, and we're just pulling on it, then the tooth is going to lean in this, and you'll see the mesial cusp will come down, and it'll be something like that, and then the roots are going to go, the tip of the root down here is going to move back a little bit, and you don't want that to happen. So when you start pulling the tooth like that forward, I've already kind of messed up my drawing here, but you put this activation in here, kind of like that, and this wire goes down like that. And as you pull forward on this, you shorten it here, this wire is over here, it'll bring the roots and the crown back at the same way. If your the crown of the tooth starts tipping this way, you need more of this activation. If you start pulling it and the roots run out, go off and leave the crown, then you've got too much of this activation going down here. And you tighten that by running the wire between here, and you have your arch wires stabilizing there, and you can pull any tooth you want to. It doesn't make a darn if they're 90 years old or if they're 16, and you can pull it bodily forward. I mean, you can pull it where it's just actually stays straight. You can make the roots go ahead of the crown, or you make the crown go ahead of the roots by how much of this activation you put in it. And if you don't think that'll work, go home and try it. Because I do it all the time, or did it all the time. And you can put the teeth together, and you can separate them. If you wanted the gap here, you'd leave that, and as you straighten the teeth up, the tooth will come back here, and you'll have a gap in this space. But if you wanted to close it, you tie it back, tie all this back. If you don't want these to go back, you put a screw in the cortical bone, bond it to the bicuspid, and the bicuspids will stay there, and these crowns will come up to them. So this is some of the things that you need to know about orthodontics. And you can make the teeth do just darn near anything you want to. Now we've shown you how to rotate them. I mean, you can turn them all the way around if you want to. So there's a lot of different things. How the intruding wires work to open the bites. And I've never, to my knowledge, damaged anybody by advancing their mandible in a forward direction. But if you push it backward, you can have a lot of trouble with it. So I'm going to say good night and let y'all go home. And I hope, let me see if we're at the end of our little program here. Well, that's this is number 5, and we've got the teeth underneath here, and this is 6, and this tooth that was way back here now is right here, and we're just about to close up in that spot right there. And that's number 6, that's number 7. Now this will come up underneath here, and this will drop back and totally touch a little bit of this tooth right here. I don't have time to stay in there that long to do that. So thanks for watching,